Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okie doke. Hi guys. Um, can you hear me okay? Jack, Rich, Clyde? Does the sound all right? Oh, good. Okay. I I just hooked up my microphone. Uh so anyway, I'm back. As you probably some of you know, I was gone for a couple of weeks on a cruise down the Danube and ended up in Nuremberg and decided, well, I'll take the train out to go up and visit Rolf Lang's uh, outfit up in Dresden. And if you saw yesterday's or Friday's video, that was pretty much the story of what we did at the end. And so, anyhow, one of the things that happened when I was when I was on the trip was that I started thinking about the whole thing of fine watches and what is it like? I mean, even on a some of the mass-produced watches like Rolexes and some of the others, there's a people have a special feeling about them. They say, well, you can really feel the quality. And on the other hand, we end up spending a whole lot of money on watches that dwarf what Rolexes cost, and so on and so forth. Hey, Renee, how you doing, man? Flipping Zippo. Um, so the oh la la, yeah. Hey, how you like my this? I actually saw somebody wearing this. Clyde said, "Hey, Will." Hi, Bruce. Clyde said this is a an offense against the French. You think the French feel bad? What about the mimes? So they got their whole no. All right. Okay. There was I forgot who I was talking to. Somebody, and I said, trying to get a handle on it. Here you got this watch. You spent a lot of money for it, and it doesn't really matter at this point what the brand is or what the resale value is or anything like that. We'll pretend that that's not important. The watch that I have on now is my little Beauvais Mono Rattrapant. And this was when this was made back in 1940. The movement is a Valjoux. This is before Valjoux was part of ETA or ETA, however you want to call it. And this was mass produced. You pop open the back of this, and I've seen similar dials. Actually, I've even seen similar dials on other brands. But the thing is, there aren't too many mono Rattrapants, at least anymore. People, I don't think it's one of those things they kept. I like mine because it's the only one I have. Okay, so the the elusive part, I guess, that I'm trying to get some kind of thought about, and I described it as it's like nailing jelly to a tree. Here we have a special watch. Let me get one out that is of that sort. Here you go. Ah, yes. Okay. Um, this is it never shows up too well on this slide. This is my FP Journe Chronomet Souvain, and there's something different about it. Um, oh, rats, Bruce, you're at a family function. Okay, that's all right. Give my regards to the family. Um, so is that, does this feel any different than my Mickey Mouse watch or, something else like that? Hi, Mustafa. Hi, Michael. Um, it, and so when I put this on, it is that, here, yeah, let's see if I can find it up here. The movement, this is a really beautifully done movement. The you can see the all of the on laws and everything else about it. Hi, Forbin, Colossus. Yeah, I'm back from Germany. Um, and so when I take this one off, which like I said, I like it a lot. It's a nice watch, and but it's, it comes out of a mass-produced factory, and there's certain characteristics about it that I really like. I like the little mono rattrapant, the sound of one hand clapping, but trying to say, okay, now I'm wearing this. Why is this my favorite watch or one of my favorite watches? I have about two or three that every time I put them on, there's something special about them. This is one of them. Another one is the one of my newer ones, the Lang and Hein. Another one is my double hairspring. Those three watches. Now, those aren't my most expensive. They're sort of up there. But my most expensive watch, I do like a lot the Resonance, but they and in fact it's probably a lot closer to FP Jorn because it was from 2002 when he was probably working in the back room with a couple people trying to stay in business. But hi, Nelson. So the question I have is that, what is it that makes a watch, especially something that, that's very close to the craftsman? Um, what does it make? What makes it special? Describing it, I described once. It's like trying to nail jelly to a tree. Is that anything about it? Now, it doesn't have to be a handmade and special watch and everything like that. And even though, I mean, if I had something, for example, that I was able to see Roger Smith pound together from a bar of gold, there's a video that he does that on. There's, excuse me, there's a certain feel about that. So that I guess is the thing I want to bring up because, like I said, why not just go down to Joe's watches and get any watch and put it on and feel just the same about it as you would with a something special. Okay, something by Kerry Boutin-Lannon, something by F.B. Jorn, by Laurent Ferrier, Philippe Dufour, Roger Smith, Rolf Lang, Marco Lang. What's the difference? Okay, so I want to I'd like to get some feedback from you because it's earlier today someone was comparing what some of the stuff with art in museums, and you can have all this really great artwork in museums, but you can't take it home with you. Whereas what a lot of us do is we take them home and we wear them. There's search for exclusivity or bespokeness. Um, yeah, this is, I don't know. I don't think this isn't that exclusive. Uh, Let me see. Yes, a well-made watch is a beautiful thing, and it can feel great to wear. There's a brand difference on the wrist. A Rolex feels different than an Omega. Huh. Okay. Hey, Alexander. Hope you enjoy your trip. I did. Next time, jury have it to look at. Dornbluth. You'll love it. I bet I would too. Um, okay, it's like driving a Rolls Royce. Rich Buddy, have you ever driven a Rolls Royce? Because that's a great example, by the way. No, yes. I used to have a Rolls Royce, and man, I tell you, that thing is, there is something about them. There really is. Okay, yeah. So you got an idea about it. Uh, when I used to drive that Rolls, it was a wonderful experience. The only thing is that the '82 Rolls silver spur that I had, that model used to spew out hydraulic oil or hydraulic fluid somehow. So you drive it so far before you had to fill up the hydraulic fluid so the brakes would work. But yeah, driving that thing, just getting into it, it has a certain smell because of the type of leather that they use and everything else about it. And there really is a good feel. Buyer's remorse. Hi. To me, it's when the experience of winding a fine watch before putting it on. Yeah, there's that too. That's a good point. That may be one of the reasons I prefer a hand wound over an automatic. This one's hand wound, and all of the other ones that I mentioned are my favorites are also hand wound. On our trip, I took my Parmigiani hemisphere because it's got multiple times, and the that's a it was a wonderful experience because that too was a much better watch, I think, than most people even know about for a travel watch. Hi, Doctor A and B, Dubai. um, Let me see. Do you know of an independent Portuguese maker? Forgot the name. They look great. We should drive the 2019 Phantom. Phantom's too big. I like the oh, what do they call it? I forget what model it is. This is their sedan. I'm not sedan, but their coupe. And I keep forgetting the name on that. I like the new Ghost, but we're not talking about Rolls Royces. Let's go back to oh, the Culpa Hebdo. Yeah, that's another one. That one is the thing that's special about the Hebdo, I think, over just about all the other ones. It's got, first of all, it's hand wound. Second of all, it's got the fitted movement for that. In other words, it was a movement made for the watch, as opposed to the one in my Culpa, for example. I've got a round movement, which is fine, but I'd rather have one that was fitted. Okay, the rectangle convertibles. I know what you mean. Yeah, well, they're not convertibles, but how are they called? Um, Something starts with a T, and I can never remember their name. Trace. Oh, it's a Wraith. That's what it is. WRIATH. Wraith. So it's like having a Wraith car. Man, I'd love to have one of those. Anyway, hey, crappy luxury. That's a new one. How you doing, man? Um, that may be redundant. I suppose in going back, perhaps a better kind of example might be in art. Uh, One day there was a contest, and they had a picture of a drawing of an owl, and then they had a Xerox copy of it, and they wanted to know if you could tell the difference, and if you did, they sent to the Xerox copy. So I was able to tell the difference, and I just guessed, and it was 50-50. So they sent me this thing, and I put it up on the wall, and a friend of mine came over. He was an art major, and he thought it was real. You know, it's sort of weird. Oh, okay. Uh, oh no! Don't tell me there was a Tissot horror story. Was there a horror story with that? The one with the 6498? Oh man. Oh gee, I'm sorry about that because that was one. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's one I recommended. Oh man. Oh gee, I'm sorry to hear that. Um. Yep. 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 Okay. Let me see. Of course. He's not like the Mark Energen. Um, how the bronze watches age. Awesome outfit. Hey, thanks, Equizical. Equizical. Cool name too. Um, all right. Well, so let's talk about this. Sorry about that, Tissot. But anyway, let's talk about the. Is it worth it? Please tell us about the Bronze Age watches. What are the Bronze Age watches you're talking about, Clyde? I'm not sure what you mean. I think that one appreciates it. You know what's on your wrist, how they age. Oh, I like bronze. I like the bronze one because of that. Yeah, and the nice thing about a bronze watch or a bronze case on a watch is that they go with your skin color. Um, 1 second here. Whew. Okay, this is bronze. I made this one. Um, take this off, and it's it's for somebody else, and the thing is, one of the things about it is that it's you can use it for the watch itself will change the color depending on the person's, I guess, their body chemistry and so forth. Okay, I bought that Tissot but returned it for full refund. Gee, beautiful dial and 64.98, but lubs are not smoothed out, too sharp. Also, crown was too small for my fingers, it turned out. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry about that, man. That happens. I liked it simply because of the movement, and it was I guess a heritage watch on something. So my bad on that one. I'll see if I can find another one for you. Now, Clyde, the Hebdo though, that turned out good. I hope. Fat for my wrist. The lugs are too fat. Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't know about the lugs and that part about it. But did the watch keep time okay and everything? Oh, we got the modern silver dial, not the heritage, not the not the heritage. What was it called? The heritage anti-magnetic, and they had it in French. It really looked cool. Anyway, the that one was the one that I thought was really neat. I would love to have one that said anti-magnetic, but they weren't. That was just sort of like I don't know what something to match that was fireproof. It was really weird. Okay, let's go back. How we get off the track? He got it from Joe Shop. Seems like a decent return policy. Yeah, sounds great. I got a one of my favorite watches I got from Joe Shop. Saved $10,000 on it, brand new. So I've always been very happy with them. Um, but let's get away from some of the or more mundane things we usually talk about, and really, how do you experience something that is a really high, something really good quality? Otherwise, was realized, okay, lovely, no damage then. Okay, Tissot Heritage, petite second, SRP. Okay. Ah, all right. Did you ever try Reverso? Uh, Dr. A and B, no. I got one, but I got the small one for my wife. I nothing wrong with them. It just it's one of those things that I saw other things I like better. Experience, that is to say, yep, and silently smile to myself every time I look down and see it. Exactly. That's a Clyde. That's the best description I've heard yet. It can be tricky to know the difference between something that is high quality and something that is an expensive brand name. Will, that's exactly right. I think you can find some really good quality in surprising places. One of the biggest surprises that I had, and it was a good surprise, was on a Maurice Lacroix. And I got this Maurice Lacroix simply because it had the Jacquet 736 movement in it, which was made by the Jacquet who had to go to jail. And so that was my outlaw movement. And I like to hear that. But I got the watch, and my God, it was such, it had that, that good heft that a good watch has. You can feel it. And this watch has it. Now, one of the things is, of course, is made of platinum, so it's a little heavier, but still, you can feel that. Equals my first watch memory story goes back to an Accutron. I thought that was the greatest thing in the world. But see, the thing is, getting an Accutron way back when had to do with having something that kept really good time, and it had nothing to do with a lot of other things going on. And I think Accutron at the time was like almost like a quartz watch, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not exactly sure what it was. Um, I never had a Rolex. When I can find the one I want, I'll get one. But uh, there's a lot of stuff about Rolex that um, I don't like. Okay, there are two things about Rolex I don't like. One is that they're all automatic, and two is that you can't see the movement. The one model that you can see the movement, and it's not an automatic, is the Prince, and that I like. Yeah, and so that's the one I'm going after eventually. I mean, the thing is that probably everybody who collects watches has, you got all kinds of choices. And so what sort of urges you to go for one or the other? Some people, get wound up in resale value, and that to me is that you get the resale value, but the watch, I don't know. My cousin bought this Space View see-through Accutron because he liked the looks of the tuning fork. Yeah, that's a good reason. Um, wait, no, the thing is that the Rolex has 1.4 million watches it produces a year, and probably sells every one of them, has a waiting list for certain models. All right, so a lot of people like them. It's not that I have anything against them, except the fact that they're all automatic. But they're a well-made watch. I mean, they're a good watch. They keep good time, from what I understand. But there are a lot of other watches that do that, as plus other kinds of things that I like, such as hand wound and an exhibition window. I like shape movements too, where I can get them. All right, finally, my marriage watch is gilded silver dial, made 19th century Germany. The craftsmanship on the dial blows away anything else I've seen. Yeah, you can find that too. Did you ever check out a Brigade 77? Oh, come on, man. I remember, I can't remember all those numbers. Um, I probably shouldn't have said Jacquet 736. You know what a Jacquet 736 looks like? Maybe. But the thing is, tell me about the Brigade 7727, Dr. A and B. The one I like is, I think it's called the Tradition, the Brigade Tradition. Boy, I like that a lot. That looks like something Abraham Brigade would make. Um, yeah, I think the Tissot is the ETA 6498, whereas the khaki field officer was a 6497. The only difference between the two is that the small seconds are at 6 o'clock with the on a wristwatch on the 98, and they're at 9 o'clock on the 97. Otherwise, they're the same movement, and that's something. How you doing? Um, I saw something reasonably priced in it. Yeah, I've seen some too. I think that might be that's a nice watch. Now here's what I like about that watch. even though I know it probably has some aspects of mass production. There are a lot of other features about it that give it a crafted look that I like. ETA, yeah, 6498 on the Tissot, right. It's on a lot of different watches. There are a lot of the German watches that they have. They've used the 6497 and 6498. Boy, what's the name of it? There's so many watch companies that can't remember them all. In fact, there was one in Nuremberg, and that uses those kinds of movements and then makes really nice watches for them. Tells you what's inside of them. I like those too. Any opinions on ETA 2824-2? You know, I don't know enough about that, Rich Buddy. Um, what I There's one I found that I'm going to get, and I think it's something 71 or 51 on a ETA. And the thing about it is that they have a power reserve indicator and some other tricks on it. And the thing that I like about it is that, once you put it together, maybe time put it together with the case and the dial and everything. That one's a little more expensive. It's around $500. But the same thing, the same parts are put together for a Breitling, and of course those things are five, six, $7,000, which is this is something I think one of the reasons that want to do stuff with pretentious watchmakers is that where you see these guys talking about their passion and somebody slapping a ETA in a case and saying, "Here, this is worth," that's nuts. Wilson Watchworks and the U.S. has some really attractive. Yeah, they're on the West Coast, right, Clyde? Nincris, that's the one, Alexander, that I was trying to think of. Thank you, Nincris. Yeah, I like his stuff. He's got this really cool what's it called, a regulator. It's got this neat regulator, and they have it, and so does Charles Ward or Christopher Ward, and they use the same thing. Now, here's the interesting thing about the regulator with the 649798 is that they basically, what they do is they take the hour hand and move it to 12 o'clock. And so they have the minute hand in the center. They have the second hands at 6 o'clock, and then to me the interesting thing is how do they move that hour hand? Because in the movement itself, the hour hand is centered, so they have to do something, and I don't know what it is. All right, they do some actual watchmaking work. One of the things that I got a kick out of when I was up at Rolf Lang's, he had this. What was it? I think it was a perpetual. No. What it may have been a combination perpetual calendar plus a. What are those? What are the chiming ones called? They have some weird name for it. Let's see the. I again, this is anyway. It's a fairly complex watch, and they cost a lot of money. And it's when the top price Grand Prix. Yeah. What is that? What's the name of watches that they play the chime? Then let's see. You read about Kaj Koppel, a Swedish guy who makes all movement parts himself. Very small maker. A minute repeater. That's what I was thinking of in as something is a minute repeater. So what Rolf Lang did, he it was back in '86 or sometimes. So he goes to a junk store and he finds one, and there was a minute repeater with 40 of its parts gone. So he takes it home. He buys the thing, takes it home, and hand makes every single missing part. Now that's what a real watchmaker can do. Because I just blew me away. And so, it was it there's a certain kind of talent. When you look at a guy like Roger Smith take a bar of gold and bang it around, next thing you know, he's got a case. Also, there was this piece of jagged looking metal that Rolf Lang showed me, and he said, "Oh, this is what the watch was." He just took it and did stuff with it. Anyway, does your wife have a raspberry beret? Let me see. I don't. She has. I think it's more like a powder blue or pink, something like that. I don't know. Holy crap! I'm actually starting to learn stuff. Flip and Zippo. Oh, yeah. Hey, minute repeater, Rotha. Yeah. Yep. 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 And Will. Thank you guys. That was the one I was trying to think of. Um, come on now. Let's not talk about our spouses now. Um, I'll have her give you a call. Well, what are you doing? Okay, well, let's get back to this if we can for just a second. But it's something I want to think about, and here's why. The basic reason we pay a lot for watches or certain watches, just about any of them. Okay, and the question is, what do we get out of it? We know we don't get the most accurate time. Smartwatches, iPhones, those kinds of things, they're gonna keep time for us in a very accurate way. These things are, they vary all over the place, but um, what's going on? Okay, what kind of what kind of what kind of experience do we get or should we get from something that really is sort of a more artful kind of watch as opposed to something that is cranked out by the thousands or millions? Have you ever gone to NYC or Switzerland and spent an entire day boutique shopping? Never been to Switzerland. Never been to Switzerland. I've been to every country around it. And I was just in Hungary and I've been everywhere, but not Switzerland. I'm hoping to go there pretty soon. Okay. They're just accessories, your viewer. Yeah, they are. They're really, I mean, guys can have only so many accessories before that, you know, you're it's something. But on the other hand, I mean, these are really expensive accessories. If you buy I'm not using Roger Smith as a whipping boy. I'm using him as an example. If you get a Roger Smith, you're going to have to wait something. I don't know how many years. I know one guy I think is almost 15 years. Um, and you what you'll get is something handmade, valued by their arts. Yeah. Hi, Ronan. Oh, 10 hertz. Okay, that's something that I can talk about. 10 hertz, you put in one of these, and I have a good friend who has one. I like the slow ones, the you for lots of reasons. Um, the the whole experience though of a of something that is you can see the work. If I take this watch off and I uh, pick up my loop, where's my loop? A loop, and I look at this through a loop at the back here, I can see it. Now, the question is when I put something like this on, as opposed to, I don't know, some just regular watch, there should be something that's special about it. And this is all what I'm trying to figure out. Barking Deck, 5 years to get on the wait list for Roger Smith, and a further 3 to 5 years to actually get the watch. Yeah, it is. It is. Um, okay. Well, Bark and Jack, what do you think? What makes these things worth anything? And I'm talking about the essence of it, the of a truly handmade watch, where you're really touching the craftsman and the craftsmanship. Someone compared it between having an original and having a print, and I think there's some truth to that. Actually, debating dropping 90K on a double balanced skeleton AP. If you like a skeleton AP, that's a lot. Um, a taste of perfection combined with character and a soul, something we would like to be by ourselves. Okay, for watches to be worth more than just a monetary value, you need to actually like him in the first place. That's a good point. Um, for not stopping to Archie. Hey, now there's a Prince Archie. That was sort of interesting. Um, okay. Well, anyway, that's just something I want to think about. The the whole issue, the whole time that's spent talking about resale value, talking about reference numbers, talking about these things that are peripheral really to why we spend all this money and time on these things. And I guess that's sort of the thing I think that I wanted to discuss. And we got off track a few times, but it's really something I think we need to address, because otherwise, if all we talk about is popularity, price, these kinds of things, I think we really have maybe lost our way. So I don't know. That's my opinion. Hi, Jan. How you doing? Jan, we're just about wrapping up right now. Um, like a watch AA meeting. Yeah, yeah, Rich, buddy. Yeah, it is a watch AA meeting. It's an intervention. We'll put it that way. Um, anyway, these are some of the things, you got something, you got a $30,000 watch on your wrist, and you're looking at that thing, and you get oh, I don't know, something for, let's say, under 500, or I get one of the ones like this, my bronze Wonder that I made. You have those kinds of things. Well, yeah, Jan, that's how come I gave all the different time zones available for you. So don't give me the different time zones, because I put the different time zones on the announcement. But but that's okay. You get a pass this week. I once read style is saying who you are without speaking a single word. Nothing expresses style like a watch. Whoa, that's an interesting thing. Here's the thing about it though. If if you look, if let's say your average person saw some guy with a Roger Smith number one, I don't know what it is, just sort of a very plain looking watch, they're not going to see style or anything else, because they don't know about that kind of watch. I I I wouldn't either if I didn't know about it. And so this is another part, I think, is that the more we know about these kinds of things, I think that that does two things. One, it justifies what we're doing, and it also um, gives us something to have a value for, because we know what went into it. We know it's not just something that was cranked out on a watchmaking machine. Okay. I think once you have some of the higher tier watches you want, it's easier to get into lesser horology and enjoying them. I'm not sure about Rich Buddy. How is that? That you got me. Let's see. The do for simplicity. Yes, I love that watch. Is as plain as they come, as generic looking as anything. And if you don't know about watches, it's what's inside that counts. Yeah. And then to do for simplicity, what you have in there is you really have sort of a craftsman kinds of genius. This is what when I was up at Ralph Lang's, I didn't have the greatest expectations, but when I saw what he had done, I was just like, my God, how can anybody do that? And it was just like Dufour, like some of the really, really top guys. So anyhow, well, listen, I got to run and it's do my trick or treating. And anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. I'd say 70% wouldn't recognize a Rolex. Boy, I tell you, I think it'd be more like maybe 50%. Everybody knows Rolex, I thought. So anyway, let me answer some of these quick. I haven't had the my 21 service yet, so I don't know what it would cost. Style is appreciate those who in know, then it's not style. Okay, Harry. Try this. High quality materials designed by mind and made by hand. Oh wow, yeah, that sounds good. Foreman. Ronan, as a theme for watch collection, it would be interesting to collect all HZ variations. Maybe a next topic. I the problem with me on that, I get into a rant, and I shouldn't. But that's a good point, Roll, and all of these different. You know, once you find all of these top guys are using 2.5 hertz, whereas the standard is 4 hertz, something's going on, and that to me is like, huh? I wonder why that is. Um, Ralph Lang's thing is, well, at least the one that I was looking at. Well, one that I'm really looking at is 3 hertz. And why don't you get it down to 2.5 rather than going the other way? And so that's why that Breguet 10 hertz to me was like, it's sort of putting methamphetamine into a racehorse. It'll make them go, but maybe too much. Oh, do I have a Lang on watches to get list? Let me put it this way: I don't have a whole lot of to gets off my list. if that if that's any help. Now there's a Lang with an E and a Lang without an E. The Langenheim I have is just a work of art. I love it, and the ones that I saw by Ralph Long are also works of art. So those are kinds of things that I'm thinking about. Will you send you an email when? Okay. Have a horse on meth is a terrifying thought. I know, I know it is. Oh, I okay. Yeah, A Longa does simple watches. Okay, you meant A Longa. Yeah, to me, A Longa's okay. I think they're for what you get. I think they're extremely expensive. I mean, super expensive, and that's look who's talking. But I tell you, I was told by a guy. He said, really, if you the best one of the best buys around was a FP Journe because their entry level is so low, and the entry level is. I think it got lost somewhere around along the line. Okay, well, listen, guys. Like I said, got to run. Thank you all very much for dropping by, and thanks for all your comments. Take care. Bye bye.